Hi guys, well I hope you're strapped in because today's video might turn into a bit of a rant because I'm talking about DRM and specifically in this case HDCP. And why am I talking about that today? Well, the Xbox One S has launched and so has the PS4 Pro, and they both do 4K media, and the PS4 Pro kind of does 4K gaming as well, but that's for another video and I've already done some about that. But 4K has brought with it the new HDCP standard. And what is HDCP? Well, HDCP stands for High Bandwidth Digital Content Protection. Yeah, a bit of a mouthful. And it's designed by Intel to stop the copying of digital audio and video content as it travels across connections. So basically it's designed to stop piracy and is therefore DRM. And we've had various versions of it. It's been around since 2000 with version 1, but we went through various different iterations to version 1.3, which was the first kind of major one, and then 1.4, which gave us 3D. And bear in mind, 3D didn't require 1.4. None of this is required. HDCP is absolutely not required in order to be able to use this content, other than the fact that they want to stop you being able to copy it. And now we're up to version 2.2, which is where we get 4K. And in order to have 4K content, well, most of it anyway, you have HDCP 2.2. But that has been a problem historically and moving forward in relation to things like video capture. And in order to capture video from the PS4, you've always had to turn HDCP off, or at least recently you've had to turn it off, because prior to that you couldn't capture it at all other than from using the PS4's own capturing software. If you wanted to use a capture device, you couldn't do it initially, and then they relaxed it a bit and you could turn off HDCP within the settings, and then you could capture gameplay. But of course, if you do that, then you couldn't view Netflix. And there was a similar issue with the Xbox One, and I had issues where I would be watching Netflix or something and then I'd switch over to try and do some game capture and I'd get nothing but a black screen, and I did a video about that and how to get around it. So as you can see, HDCP has been a problem, and I've had problems with DRM before. Years ago, I bought a copy of Unreal Tournament, and in order to make it play, I had to download a CD key or a no CD key, which was basically a way of cracking the copy protection on it. But in order to play the game I bought, I had to use a way of stopping copy protection, which pushed me towards cracking sites and so on and so forth. And we've got a similar situation here. It's all very well faffing around with resetting your boxes and changing settings every time you want to do game capture, but really that's not convenient for me, and I don't want to be faffing about like that. And why should I, frankly? I want to be able to just copy gameplay and upload it to YouTube and do my voiceovers and not have to faff about, and then I want to be able to flick over to Netflix and watch a Netflix show. So the way I found to solve the problem was I got myself an HDMI splitter. And some HDMI splitters would actually strip out the HDCP signal. And okay, yeah, I know there are issues there because you strip out HDCP and you've got an issue with piracy and so on and so forth. And obviously that's why HDCP exists. It's there to stop piracy. But it was stopping me getting my video content, my gameplay content. And so I got this splitter and it stripped out the HDCP, and I plugged my Xbox into it, I plugged my PlayStation into it, and I could switch over between the two, and I could copy my gameplay and I could watch Netflix, and it wasn't an issue. And before anyone starts, this is not about piracy. I wasn't copying any games, I wasn't downloading any films to watch or anything like that. I wasn't uploading them onto torrent sites or anything like that. I just wanted to be able to have my gameplay footage and then watch Netflix without having to go in and change settings. But then we get Xbox One S and a PS4 Pro. And obviously with the 4K, they're going to have HDCP 2.2. And that becomes a problem because the HDMI splitters are HDCP 1.4. And so you will get an HDCP error. And so we're back to square one with the issues of changing settings and so on and so forth. Which is a pain. And not only is it a pain for me doing capture of game footage, but it's an issue for people who've got, say, 2 screens in their room. For instance, if you've got a projector and you've got an ordinary television. So if you've got a 4K projector, say, in my case, I've actually got a 4K projector and I've got a 1080p television, because I don't think I need 4K on the television of that size. But the projector is 4K and HDCP 2.2. The TV is 1080p and HDCP 1.4. So I end up with getting HDCP errors. And I actually had an HDCP error a couple of times off the Xbox One S the other day. And I have found ways around it, but it's a pain in the arse. I have to be really clear here. I'm not talking about stopping DRM. I'm not saying that we should be able to pirate anything we want. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not interested in piracy at all. I'm not trying to pirate games. I'm not trying to pirate Netflix footage or anything like that. I just want the convenience of being able to use a product without having to get up and down all the time and change settings and unplug things and plug things in order to be able to use it as it's supposed to be used. Because at present, this is a real impediment to using these products. And it's stopping people from getting pleasure and value for money out of those products. Not to mention the fact that there's plenty of people out there who aren't like me, who aren't a bit geeky, who will, fiddle around and faff about trying to sort out these problems. A lot of people will go out and they'll buy a PS4 or an Xbox One S and they'll plug it in, they'll get it in, they're all excited, plug it in, get it sorted out, turn it on, go to play it, and not working. Because their TV might be a 4K TV, but it's an earlier 4K TV, and it's got HDCP 1.4, not HDCP 2.2. And they're getting a handshake error. At which point they go, well, this isn't bloody working, I'm taking it back. So they take it back. So the industry's sort of shooting itself in the foot because it's trying to stop piracy, but it's actually stopping people buying the products. And just give up. Give up, get a refund, go back to what they were using before. Why bother? What's the point? There must be a better way of doing this because, frankly, the current approach is like a sledgehammer to crack a nut. You can no longer just go out, buy a product, plug it in and have it work. When did that happen? We saw this happen with the music industry, didn't we, with all the DRM and all that nonsense. And most sites now that you can get music from don't have DRM. A lot of them anyway. And it hasn't really done the music industry any harm. I would go so far as to say that the music industry has been harmed more by the music industry itself and by the suits trying to control the way things are done than actually by the people out there pirating stuff. But, you might disagree with me on that one. Perhaps the consumer industry just needs to take a look at itself. Stop treating us like a bunch of bloody crooks. Because, do you know what? I can pirate music, I can pirate films, I can pirate games if I so wish. I don't do any of that. DRM, your copy protection, isn't stopping any of that. And the people who want to do it, the people out there who are still doing it, will continue to do it. This DRM bollocks isn't solving anything. All it is doing is annoying people like me who want to be able to use our products as they were intended when we bought them. That's the truth of it. And I'm sick, sorry and tired of having to fight my way round these issues. Just because some idiot somewhere thinks it's a good idea. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of DRM entirely. I understand that companies want to protect their products and their property. But there has to be a better way of doing this, surely. Because when you buy a product, you want to be excited about it and you want to be happy about it and you want to be able to plug it in and enjoy it. And if you end up running into these issues time and time and time again, it just leaves a sour taste in your mouth and you're not interested anymore. And I'm the sort of person it takes an awful lot to put me off. There's an awful lot of other people out there who would be put off a lot quicker than I will be. Anyway, that's my take on it. I don't know what you guys think. If you agree with me, give us a thumbs up. If you disagree with me, give us a thumbs down, and come into the comments as always and we'll have a chat. In the meantime, as ever, I'm going to go and get myself a cup of tea and lie down in a dark room until this annoyance wears off. And I will speak to you guys again soon. Bye.